Hello and welcome to another Wellness Wander. I'm here beside the lake and behind me you can see our wonderful sweet gum, which is one of the first trees to colour up and bring this intense colour to the garden in autumn. For our wander today, we're going to take a stroll and look at some of the other plants that are beginning to show hints that autumn's on its way and that will hopefully provide a blaze of colour later in the season. This week we're starting our wander at the Lakeside. It's a very gentle scene. Ducks are swimming, creating ripples in the water surface. And in the distance you can see our sweet gum, Liquidambus styraciflua Worplesdon, and also one of the bean trees with the yellowish tints, Catalpa erubescens purpurea, just beginning to show autumn colour. And making our way along the lakeside, hints of russet being provided by Taxodium disticum, or the swamp cypress. And although there isn't much showing bright colour at the moment, you can just begin to see hints of colour emerging, but also contrasts in texture and foliage which make up this beautiful waterside scene for visitors to enjoy. I'm now on the systematic beds where a number of species, including this nasturtium, are still putting on a great show of flower at this late stage of the season. But behind this, one of the curiosities of the garden is in full fruit. High up in the canopy here, you may be able to make out the great globe-like fruits of the Osage orange, Maclura pomifera. And this is always worth looking out for when you're visiting the garden, for these extraordinary globular fruits which have a very rough surface and have earned themselves the name gardener's brains. We're going to head to the other side of the systematics to look at more autumn colour. A glance across the systematics provides you with more welcome hints of colour, but also extraordinary shapes and forms, much provided by the Gramineae or Poaceae here on the systematic beds. But as we head past the Verbena family, the Verbenaceae, just wanted to stop and look at the exquisite fruits of the harlequin flower, Clerodendron trichotomum. And although the leaves are yellowing, it really is the fruits that provide the interest at this time of year, and so very well worth just looking at some of the detail here in the garden as well as the bigger picture. And taking in a look at the backdrop on the eastern edge of the systematic beds, some beautiful golds being provided here by Gladitsia dioica and also by Cladrastis kentuckea. Beautiful golden colourings here. And as we're passing, just take time to admire Verbena bonariensis here, still in flower on the systematic beds. But I wanted to bring you to see one of my favourite trees, probably actually my favourite tree here in the garden, the Persian Ironwood, Parotia persica. And you can see it's just beginning to take on autumn colour on these low spreading boughs which sweep down to the ground, and close inspection of some of the foliage shows their multicoloured facets. So here, brilliant scarlets, yellows, oranges and even greens. And you can also see here the nutlet-type fruits. And as the weeks progress, colour here we hope will become ever more vibrant. And as we head along the South Walk, you can begin to see patches where trees have shed their leaves and there's a beautiful, almost golden carpet beneath them. So here we have Tilia mongolica. You can see almost devoid of leaves, but there's always something very pleasing just to see this lovely underlay of golden, fresh leaves. And beside it, looking absolutely beautiful, these great heads of fruits. Sargent's rowan, Sorbus sargentiana. And also shedding leaves quite early again, Cladicea triacanthus. But beautiful to see these lovely golden leaves hanging on to brighten the scene along the South Walk. And we're now in the eastern area of the garden. And looking towards the west, you can see in the foreground our grass maze, looking very welcoming with golden hints provided by Anamanthele lawsoniana. And in the backdrop, an array of birches really bring welcome colour on this slightly overcast day. And as we turn on the fairway and look to the east, you can see more hints of autumnal tones coming to the fore. Here, Pistachia chinensis is taking on brilliant red and peachy colours. And beside it, while not really colouring much at the moment, Diospyros virginiana can be seen here with spherical fruits which are just beginning to turn and take on richer colourings. While the bract-like fruits of Carpinus turkzaninovii are worth taking a closer look at. And as the season progresses, colours will intensify. So if you're visiting over the next few weeks, it is worth just taking a look at the things that are beginning to change colour before they lose their leaves. And autumn colour varies tremendously from year to year, being reliant on rainfall, temperature and sunlight. And this year it seems to be slightly later than normal and many more yellow colourings are showing. So here Colruteria bipinnata definitely has the yellow hints of colour. While one of the giants of the fairway, Zelkova serrata, is taking on these beautiful russet tones that have great hints of variation of colour. So subtle peachy colourings rather than the intense reds that we saw with the liquid amber. Just beautiful. And I hope that I've inspired you this month to start looking at the trees as they change season and shed their leaves for winter. If you're unable to make it to the garden, I hope that you can enjoy autumn colour wherever you are. Thank you, and I hope you'll join me again soon.